Hi guys, welcome back to the Heart of Ohio YouTube channel. We have a really interesting interview today. This is our youngest dealer. This is Kyle. Tell us about yourself. My name is Jacob.
Here, my uncles both have booths in here, and they kind of got me started. My mom also has a booth in here, and I just kind of thought this stuff was interesting.
Okay, so Kyle, let me slow you down.
Yeah.
Okay, how old are you?
16.
You're
Or, well, 17.
You just
now.
turned 7.
Yeah.
When did you turn 7? Last month, was
Yeah.
it? Last month? Or 2 months ago?
Yeah.
Okay, so Kyle is now 17, and you started buying your first antique. How old were you? Or buying to resell something. What was your age when you started doing that?
Probably around like 15.
You were around 15?
Yeah.
What was it, one of those first things that got you drawn into buying something?
Probably hats and t-shirts was the
Hats
first thing
and
that was-
t-shirts.
First thing I started purchasing with
Okay.
my uncles.
So okay, let's take a little bit deeper here. What kind of hats? When you say hats, what are you
Like
talking about?
old vintage trucker hats.
Vintage trucker hats. Now this is so fascinating to me because I would never have guessed to have bought a vintage trucker hat until I seen your booth.
Yeah.
So why do you like vintage trucker hats?
I don't know. They were, fun to collect, and also like on the cheaper end. But you could also like find them all over, and
Okay.
they just kind of caught your eye.
Okay, so let's talk through this for a second. So you started with the vintage trucker hat. A couple of things I heard you say. One is that you can find them where relatively inexpensive to buy.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do they normally cost you when you buy them?
When I go to a garage sale or whatever, I can normally pick them up for $1 or $2.
$1 or $2
Yeah.
each. Okay, and then what can you price them at to move them? What do
So
you-
normally I price them depending on like if it's a sport hat or if it's a rope trucker hat.
What do you mean by rope?
So like on the front of the hat it'll have like a rope. Or,
Oh yeah, I remember those.
Yeah.
The old
Or
string.
it'll have like stripes on the side or whatever. So
Okay.
depending on kind of that, you can anywhere from like $10 to $20, $25.
10 to 25. So
Yeah,
what's
it's a good selling price.
What's the coolest hat you've ever bought?
Ooh. The coolest hat I ever bought.
Yeah.
I had a Dale Earnhardt hat.
Okay.
Still with the tag on it and everything.
Okay.
And it was a striped hat, and it was pretty.
So
pretty
stripe,
cool.
you're talking about stripes on the side.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so I don't know anything about hat reselling. I used to wear a bunch, but
Right.
but now those ones I used to wear as a kid are now selling. So
Yeah.
Okay, so when you say stripes on the side, you're just talking about just some stripes coming down
So
the
like
edge?
some like pinstripes, so like it'll be like multicolored, so like a stripe here with one color and then another stripe with a different color, kind of like this hat right here.
Okay,
it'll have,
explain
like,
it to us. Yeah.
So it'll have like this, but it'll be like all the way around.
Okay, so the more striping in these vintage hats, the better they are.
Yeah,
Okay, and so your favorite one that you bought was the Dale Earnhardt.
yeah, probably.
What'd you get out of it? Did you sell it or keep it?
I think I probably got around 25 out of it.
Around
Yeah.
25. Okay, that's kind of the high end that you sell your hats for?
Yeah.
That 25 range.
Just they sell quicker that way, and
Okay.
I still make a profit out of them. But
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I find interesting about Kyle is we had an interview with Herb, our oldest dealer, which was going to be 93, and you're 16. Well, you were 16.
Yeah.
Now you're 17.
Yeah.
But when I was your age, I did the same thing. I was buying and selling and all kind of
Right.
stuff, and I had a lot of people look at me and think, "Well, this kid doesn't know anything about what he's doing."
yeah.
You shared with me one time an experience when that happened to you at a flea market.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
So I went up to buy a Flintstones, like the topper on like a cereal box, like the Flintstones characters that you get on top of a cereal box. I went to go buy one or whatever, and I asked the guy if he'd do any better on it, and he was like, he confronted me and said, "Well, do you even know what this is, or what it was even used for?" And I was able to tell him like what it was and stuff, and then he was like happy that I knew what it was and was able to drop the price lower
that's
and
cool.
stuff. So
Okay, so what is the topper for a Flintstone cereal box? What are you referring to?
it's like
Like a cardboard box?
yeah, like a cardboard cereal box, and
Okay.
then on the top it would have like the figurine, a Flintstones figurine.
That would pop out? Was
Well,
it like a cutout, or
yeah,
was it?
I have one back there.
Well, grab it. Let's look at it. Our viewers they're going to be, what in the world is a Flintstone topper? Okay, so this is what you're talking about.
Yeah,
That's the top of the box.
yeah,
Okay.
So,
So,
like
in the
you-
top of the box you had the gift,
yep,
and this is what. But he wanted to know if you knew what that was
Right.
before he would price it to you.
yeah.
So if you guys can see this, this is the topper, and we've got one. Is this the one you bought, or is it a different one? that you're
Yeah,
storing?
no,
This is it?
those are the ones I bought.
These are the ones you bought, and this one's priced at $15 here, and that is just cool. So come in and check out Kyle's booth. You can buy that for $15. Okay, so you like hats, you like vintage shirts.
Yeah.
You like obviously some cassette tape. I see cassette tapes. Explain all these categories in the booth behind you.
So I have cassette tapes, records, 8-tracks, VHS tapes, and then also anywhere from like old vintage figurines and vintage toys and plushes, like Looney Tunes plushes.
This is a plush. Okay, now
yeah. Or also known as like a stuffed animal.
I always call them stuffed animals. You got to learn the new terms, guys. I'm telling you right now. You're watching this. You're probably a little bit older than him, but this is the next generation of dealer and collector, and the stuff that he likes is going to drive. What they like is going to drive our market in the next 10, 20 years. So the stuff that they're liking now is going to increase in price as they get older and have more money, and this is what they're going to go back to. So pay attention to what he's saying. You're going to learn a lot. Okay,
Yeah.
keep sharing. What else do you like?
A lot of like. What else do I have in here?
What about these guys? I mean, what are these guys?
The Mighty Ducks figurines.
Mighty Ducks.
Yeah, those are pretty cool to collect. I don't know, you can come across those.
And you got that priced at $20. So
yeah.
Where do you find most of your stuff?
A lot of garage sales, and then sometimes I'll be on a deal with my brother or with my uncles too because they have a lot of stuff. But
yeah. Okay, so
yeah,
tell us about your uncle. You said you started messing around with this. You got an uncle that deal. Like, tell us about your family and who all's buying and selling and how you're connected to all of that.
So my mom has a booth in here, and she does like the farmhouse, old vintage farmhouse like stuff. And then my uncles, one of my uncles does like the kind of the stuff I do, the old vintage shirts and hats and toys. And then my other uncle does more of like the vintage old like pottery and more of that kind of stuff, but filters in some of this stuff every once in a while. And so they kind of just took me under their wing and kind of got me started on it a little bit because they wanted one of my mom and dad's kids to do it, and my sister didn't, so I had to take that role.
So you're in the family business now.
Yeah.
Like you're hooked. Okay, so are you having fun?
Yeah.
Okay, what I remember is I was in there in the office when you came up to the window and you're like, I need a booth. And Janet was like, you want a booth? And so tell us about that. So you started in a showcase here, right?
Yeah.
Okay, how did you get started in the showcase? How long did you have it? Give us some backstory on the showcase.
So I had my showcase for like, I want to say 3 or 4 months.
Okay.
And then
you were selling out of it?
I was doing really good out of it, and I started to have a lot more stuff at home, like bigger stuff that I wanted to put out.
Okay.
But it wasn't like going to go in the showcase well, I guess.
Okay.
So I talked to my uncles a little bit about it, and they were like, well, you have to have a lot of stuff to be able to fill a space up. And I was like, well, I think I can do it.
Okay.
So when I finally thought I could do it, so I went and talked to you guys about it.
I was excited.
So,
I told Jen, I said anything he wants, he gets. Automatic priority. If he needs more space, because what I'm excited is I see you as someone that's going to, if you stay in this industry and you keep doing this, and this is where you decide to go, you're going to be a industry like a trendsetter. Your generation is going to be, and guys like me, and I'm in my 40s now.
Right.
I've got to pay attention to these guys because they're all going to have jobs. They're all going to be become professionals, and in 20 years from now, all this stuff behind me, price is going to be way higher than it is right now. And the stuff that I was throwing away a few years ago, cassette tapes and hats and stuff, now I'm like, ooh, I can't throw that away. I'm saving a pile for Kyle. I got a pile in our back room of action figures, like wrestlers and stuff. And
okay.
I bought it a while back. I'd walk in, and I thought, oh, this is for Kyle. And I just haven't seen you, so I've had it in my office for a long time. Josh was making fun of me, so I don't let you, you can't leave until I show it to you. You might want it. If you don't, that's okay. Okay, glasses as well. So you got, these are just like vintage bifocals. What are these out of the 80s? Like what are these? How old are these?
Probably around 70s, 80s.
70s, 80s.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I mean, that's not bad.
Yeah.
And I need glasses.
Do they work?
They do. Cool. You got bad eyes? You get good eyes?
Yeah, those are blurry.
Those are
I
blurry.
can't see out of those now.
What kind of hobbies do you have outside of this?
So I show livestock pretty regularly. I show
What kind of livestock?
goats and sheep,
Goats and sheep.
and
Where do you show them?
I show them all over. We just this past weekend we got back from Louisville, Kentucky.
Oh,
we're at
So you're showing out of the state and everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So
So what do you do with them? So you show them. What does that mean? You just take them to the show and get a prize? Do you sell them? Do you
we
raise
take them to
them?
the show, and the judge will judge them and stuff, and you know.
Is that a family business thing, or is that just something you like doing?
No, it's me and my dad kind of. We've done it for a while, and my sister has shown and stuff.
Okay.
So yeah, we've done it for I think 12 years now. So.
Okay. All right, well, let's talk a little bit more about some of the stuff you're buying and selling and the situations you've been in, because I think our viewers are going to find it fascinating that we've got a 17-year-old, 16, 17, working in this industry. Yeah. So you bought at some flea markets. So what about, like, got any houses or, like, been able to pick out of houses? Or?
Yeah, so really just my uncles and I will, if they get a house that they can go into, they'll call me and stuff, and we'll go into a house and we'll pick through it and stuff. But
do you when you're picking through a house, who establishes the price? Do you, or do you, like, how does that work when you're pricing something?
So like we kind of just get a big group bundle together, our separate bundle, like our.
So you'll pick the things that you want.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll put it in a group of stuff and kind of go through it and see like what I can get out of that stuff, and see what that stuff would normally be at, and then kind of just price it. Price a group,
and then price the group
of that. Yeah.
So do you try and get the person selling to put a price on it, or do you say, hey, this is what I can give?
I give a price, and then if he says I can do this, and I just try to bargain with him.
A little bit. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So it's interesting to see the different approaches. Because I know for me, when I go out to buy, I love it when someone has it priced already.
Yeah.
Then I can just say yes or no.
Right.
But so what is your strategy when you see a group of stuff? So if I've got like a group of 10 items here.
Yeah.
What's your strategy? How do you figure out what you're going to pay?
So like I look at the items or whatever, and I'm normally most of the items that I get are items that I've sold before, so I kind of know what I sell them for.
You know what you're going to sell it for here,
correct?
Or in wherever else Where else do you sell? You sell here?
I sell on eBay a little bit.
Okay.
But it's been a little bit since I been putting stuff on there, but. Starting to get back into that.
Okay.
And so
you have the Heart of Ohio and then eBay.
Yep.
Okay. So that's your sales point. So then you figure out, okay, what am I going to price this and be able to sell this for?
Right.
Okay. And then what else? How else do you figure?
So once I kind of do that, then I just kind of put those prices together and kind of fluctuate just a dollar amount, or couple dollars up or down. On where I think they'll.
Do you try now? When I talk to my mom, and she approaches her booth very differently than I do. Like, she tries to sell things that are from $10 to $30 is like where her sweet spot of selling is.
Yeah.
And she likes to make between 8 and 12 times ratio on what she's selling. You know, selling an item for $15, she'll pay like $3 or something.
Yeah.
Is that kind of a similar strategy that you have, or
yeah?
what's your strategy?
Normally when I buy stuff, I like to sell for 3 times as.
3 times.
3 times.
So if you're buying a hat for $5, you're trying to sell it for $15.
Yeah. Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that if you guys are watching this and you want to come help support Kyle, you got to understand that he actually pays a booth rent, and he pays a mall commission, and he's out there and he's working and he's busting his butt trying to find interesting things to have for sale here. So when you come and you find this item, it doesn't even matter the item. I mean, $10 for Hot Wheels. It's still a really good bargain, and he's had to go out and find this thing, and he's probably had to pay 3 or 4 for it, and so that's kind of how it works. We have a lot of people ask us through these YouTube channels, how do I start buying and selling? How do I learn how to do this? And what kind of margins do you need? And what I hear you saying, Kyle, is like you got to do at least a 3-time margin in order to make it profitable. Yeah. Are your friends at school jealous?
Well, they kind of get confused on like, hey man, like that's cool that you do that, but like, how do you get all this stuff and how do you acquire it? They find it pretty interesting, and they want to start doing it too. But yeah.
Tell them to start.
I try.
I'm trying to encourage a new generation of dealers to like get excited about buying and selling, because I mean, it's unlimited what you can learn and do, and I'm watching a new market emerge. I have for the first time carrying with me the blacklight. Right?
Don't shine it on me.
No, you might glow. Your stuff will probably glow. What I find interesting, though, is we have buyers now that this is how they shop. That shirt glows, they want it. The eyes glow, they'll buy it. If it doesn't glow, like these guys here, man, there's not much glowing on these guys. They pass those up, but they'll buy that just because if it's a black light. And the reason I bring this up right now is you have to stay with times and trends if you're going to be in this industry. It's going to change. I promise this, everything changes, and this industry is going to continue to change. Now, we still sell great Americana, we sell great country antiques, we sell lots of period items, We sell silver, we sell watches and gold, we sell anything you can imagine here. But there's a rolling timeline of new emerging markets that go up and go down, and we've talked about the Avon as being one of those markets. When my dad was a teenager, he used to buy and sell Avon like you're doing with this stuff, Avon bottles.
Right.
And he would sell them for big money, $20, $50, $100 out of these bottles, and now I sell them by the box loads for $5 and $10.
Yeah.
So if you're out there and you're trying to say, hey, how can I stay trendy and stay up on the market, just keep watching the young guys and what they're pushing in price, and as it goes up, learn something new, right?
Yeah.
Are you having fun with this business?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's a good time.
What's the most exciting thing that or something you can share with our viewers, something that you were just like, man, that was, because I get adrenaline going a lot of times when I'm buying. What happens with you?
I'd probably have to say, so my uncle and I, we went to a house and we were able to go through it and stuff, and it was kind of just like a good starting point for me. I was looking for a lot of stuff for my booth, and it was just, there was a ton load of stuff that we were able to pick through, and it was just my uncle and I, and it was just kind of like an adrenaline rush of a lot of stuff that was priced really good, and we were able to get a good find off of that. So
yeah, I relate it to mushroom hunting. There's a lot of people that go out and mushroom hunt, and I have that same kind of thing. They're out finding big sponges or whatever, mushrooms, and I go and I find this really cool thing, and I'm like, oh, this is exciting. So it's pretty cool, and I think that's kind of that adrenaline that you get when you're looking and you find something that you can resell, that you know what it is, and the person that's selling it to you may not really care of the value or don't know the value, and they're like, here, just buy this thing, and they went out of their lives, and you get to make a profit on it.
Yeah,
that is pretty cool.
Yeah,
you can't explain that to people that've never done it.
No.
It's kind of difficult.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to tell our viewers out here?
Nope, just try to get into the business. It's a fun time. So
it's a fun time.
Yep.
What about the heart of Ohio? How do you you're here? Anything about our antique center that you want to share?
Yeah, for sure. It's a great community here. Everybody kind of just, you fall into like a little bit of a family here, and everybody's super welcoming and kind, and there's stuff from anywhere from dishes all the way to this kind of stuff, and it's anything you really want is you'll find here at the Heart of Ohio. So
we're starting to get some younger buyers out there, but it's a new thing for younger people in their 20s and early 30s to go into antique centers to look for gifts and presents and different things.
Yeah.
But what would you say to the people that are your age all the way through their 20s that have never experienced an antique center, or what we have here? Because I think a lot of times antiques, the term, people think brown furniture and old dishes.
Yeah.
But that's not what you find here.
No, there's a ton of like cool things that you'll find, like not even expecting. I mean, if you have a hobby there that you have there in this antique mall, there's definitely something that'll intrigue you in here and catch your interest. So
yeah, my daughter came here, and she just got married. She's 22 now. I think she's 22. Anyways, she came here, and after we bought the antique center, she was walking around, and she was like, oh my gosh, there's so many things that I want to put in my house.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of trendy things that are coming into this antique center, and we have like a rolling timeline. We try and have things that are 20 years old or older in the mall. So when we hear the word antique center, it's not necessarily 100 years old. It's, we try and keep the vintage and antiques market. We will always have Americana and period great things here, but we also we want to find more vendors like Kyle here that we can bring in to help push the new trends as well.
Yeah.
Sure. Listen, thank you. That was pretty easy, right?
Yeah.
You did a great job. So guys, if you're watching our YouTube channel, don't forget we have another channel at Burner Brothers. It's a different context completely. We kind of take you behind the scenes with someone like Kyle or my brother, myself, when we're buying and selling and pricing, and share more information about the industry from that angle at Burner Brother Antiques. So watch us, join us, ask your friends to subscribe to our channel as well. Blessings.